It is happening. It is happening. I repeat, it is happening. Also watch this video until the end because you're gonna miss important information if you don't.
Today's video is proudly powered by our partner, Oxide Hosting. Get your products hosted by them with their cheap, reliable services. So what are you waiting for? Check them out in the description below.
Hey everyone, Duncan here from MenuDocs and welcome back to the last JDA episode. Recorded on the exact same day as the previous one. In this final episode I want to tackle the EventWaiter, which is a thing that has been requested so freaking much. So let's get started. Let's start by creating a command which is the easiest way to trigger it. So I'm just going to name it EventWaiter command. That's gonna implement I command. Also, just like last episode, don't worry if you don't have this command structure. All you need to pay attention to is everything in this handle method and that you use only one EventWaiter instance. That's very important. You need to use a single EventWaiter instance. But we're gonna get on that in a minute. I'm gonna start off by giving our command a name. I'm gonna name it EventWaiter. And I was lazy for the help, so it's just an EventWaiter example. And the way this EventWaiter is gonna work is with reactions. So I'm gonna define an emote here. Private static final string emote. And yep, check mark. Actually, no. Let's see. Let's do a heart because this is the last episode of the JDA series. So let's do a heart. Next up, we want to get our EventWaiter instance. So private final EventWaiter. And I'm gonna name this waiter. Thank you. And EventWaiter comes from the JDA Utils package. The JDA Utils package is something we have imported over here in the first episode of the series. If you do not have the JDA Utils package, head over to the MenuDocs Discord in the commands channel, type J Cradle Utils. And as you can see, oh, I'm behind, so I'm gonna update that. But as you can see, it will give you Gradle, and if you use Maven, use Maven, of course. So let's paste that in here. Because updating is important, of course. It's important to stay up to date with your changes. So now that we have our waiter here, we're gonna get it from our constructor. So public EventWaiter command, and this takes in the EventWaiter, and then we're gonna say this.waiter is equal to the waiter. That's easy. So now we have access to an EventWaiter in this command. Next up, we're gonna get the channel, and this event and this command context class is just a wrapper around the gold message received event. So ctx.getChannel is just event.getChannel. Nothing special there. We're gonna say channel.sendMessage. We're gonna say react with and then a space. And we're gonna append the emote. And that's not how you spell react. That's how you spell react. And then we're gonna queue it and grab the message from the callback. Because what we want to do, we want to say message.addReaction, emote, and queue. This just makes sure that the emote is added to the message. Next up, we're going to make our EventWaiter wait for the command. So this.waiter.wait for event. And as you can see, we have two methods here. One that takes a few parameters and one that takes a lot of parameters. We're gonna use the one that uses a lot of parameters because the one that takes a few waits an indefinite amount of times. because this one waits an unlimited amount of time and we do not want that, so we're going to use the one with many parameters. The first parameter is the class you want to listen for. In my case, this is the guild message reaction at event. So guild message reaction at event dot class. Next up, we want to give a predicted, which is just a lambda function that returns a boolean. So we're gonna say e for event and e dot get message ID long. I'm just gonna say is equal to ctx dot get message dot get ID long. Oh. And here is where our code will. And this e parameter is our guild message reaction at event. And this e is our guild message section. Speaking is hard. And this parameter we get passed along is our guild message reaction at event. What I also want to do is add another check that the user is not a bot, because if it is a bot, it could be the bot itself, and we don't want that to happen, of course. Next up, we're gonna add 3 more parameters, which is a timeout. I would say 5, and then time unit dot seconds, and lastly, we'll get just a callback from it, where we're gonna say channel dot send message. You waited too long, and of course queue that. So this is how the EventWaiter works. First off, you take in the class. Next up, you do some checks to see if you want to handle this event. And finally, you handle the event and add a timeout. For my handler, I'm just going to keep it simple, which is this. Just user was the first to react, and this special formatting thingy in send message format just gives the user hashtag and then their discriminator. Next up, we will need to add the EventWaiter as a command. So we're going to go to our command manager, say add command, new EventWaiter command. And you may see that this needs needs a waiter parameter. Now where do we scoop this up? From the constructor here. EventWaiter, waiter, and we'll get one related problem right now. In our listener, well, that's easy to solve. We're just gonna copy this, public listener EventWaiter waiter in the constructor. Can I import this? And let's make sure we only assign it once. Now finally, let's go to our main class and add the EventWaiter here. It is also very important to only use this single EventWaiter instance and add it as a listener in JDA because it needs to listen for the events. Now there's one final thing we need to do, which is adding the message reactions gateway intent. If we don't add this gateway intent, our bot cannot listen for reactions because he won't receive those events. So what we're gonna do now is run the bot and see how this works. I just pulled in my alt real quickly so we can use this very easily. So if we now say exclamation mark event waiter. Oh. So if you say exclamation mark event waiter, hit enter, it says react with heart. So we're gonna react with heart. Bitch, what? I added the reactions, added the waiter. What now? I just noticed that I made a small mistake. It doesn't need to be ctx.message.getID long, but it needs to be just the message that we just sent, because that's where the reaction is. So let's do this properly now. Let's react with heart. And it says, I was the first to react. Now if we go to another account and react with that, you can see that it doesn't work because an EventWaiter fires only once. Even the one with indefinite, it will only fire once. But if I do the same command now, and I react from my other account, it says that he was the first one to react. And that's how to basically use the EventWaiter. It's not that much more complicated than that. You just give it an event, do some checks, run the code, and set a timeout. So if you liked this video, make sure to leave a like. Subscribe to MenuDocs if you haven't already. And I see you guys somewhere in the future in another tutorial series or another tutorial, because this is the last episode of the JDA series. And the reason that I'm stopping with JDA tutorials is because I've been doing this for 2 years now. And I just think it's time for something else. So maybe you'll see me around on the MenuDocs channel. Maybe I'll just stick behind the scenes. But thank you for these 2 years of JDA tutorial support. And I will see you guys in the MenuDocs Discord. MenuDocs.link/Discord. Goodbye.